Ethan Skolnick here for the Five on the Floor podcast and the Five Reasons Sports Network. Was at Miami Heat training camp down the street from where I am right now at Kaiser University, the third day of Heat camp. They've got 2 more days coming, and then they come back to Miami for a scrimmage at the arena at 4 o'clock on Sunday. So what were the takeaways today? Let's start with number 1, Justise Wislow. I was watching him quite a bit after we were allowed in to watch the very end of practice while everybody else was talking to Erik Spoelstra. Just watched Wislow as he was working mostly with Dion Waiters, Kendrick Nunn, and also Meyers Leonard. And what were they doing? They were taking a ton of long-range shots, and Justise Wislow was making a lot of them from 26 to 30 feet, basically just pulling up, jacking it up, and they were all going down. But it's not that he was making them. That, to me, was the big thing. It was the release. Something looks a little different there. I've put it on at Ethan J. Skolnick and at 5 Reasons Sports on Twitter, and I did get a chance to ask Justise about it afterwards. Unfortunately, my iPhone X ate the interview. Not exactly sure why that happened, but I can translate here for you. Justise did say he made some tweaks, but the biggest thing that he's done is get his confidence. He is confident as a shooter now. He acknowledged to me that a couple of years ago, he didn't like to talk about his shooting. Whenever we would ask to talk to him, the PR staff would say, "You want to talk to Justise about his shooting? Talk about something else. He really doesn't want to get into that." He acknowledged that, but he said now he loves talking about his shooting. In fact, when I asked him, "Can we call you a sniper?" he says, "Call me a sniper." He wants to double his attempts from last season. Remember, he doubled them from the previous season to last season, still shot about 38%. Shot about 3.5 per game last year. That would mean 7 or 8 attempts a game. He says it'll probably be closer to 5 because he wants to get other guys involved. Depends how much the ball is in his hands. But that's pretty impressive if he wants to sort of get up to 5-6 attempts per game. It's going to make the offense a lot more dangerous. Also talked about defensively. I think what he's looking forward to the most is him and Jimmy Butler just being aggressive on the perimeter. They have the ability to switch everything, especially if they're playing with Bam Adebayo or Derek Jones Jr. It's going to be very difficult to score against this team. The big question for this team to me is offensively, do they have enough playmakers? Justise is kind of the key to that. If the ball's in his hands a lot, he's been using his right hand a lot more as well, and he's able to make threes off the dribble as well as spotting up, makes this team much more dangerous. Number 2 thing today was watching a lot of Dion Waiters. He just looks so much smoother than he has the past sort of year and a half. Says this is the best that he's felt. He's in great shape. He seems to be in great spirits. That has obviously worked out pretty well for them. Also, Bam Adebayo working with some of the bigs. One of the big questions I have for this team is, do they have enough bigs ultimately if Kelly Olynyk doesn't get back to full health early in the season? I'm curious to see, and Zach Buckley and I talked about this on the podcast we're going to be putting up overnight, I'm curious to see who plays most next to Adebayo, even when Olynyk is back. Does Erik Spoelstra decide to go to some of those small, quick lineups? He's hinting at that, and maybe you have Derek Jones Jr. playing a lot of 4 there, especially if James Johnson is not back. And of course, James Johnson is not back yet. He was not with the team today. Everybody else from Heat Brass was here. Shane Battier, Pat Riley, Nick Arison was here. Andy Ellisberg, no James Johnson. So we'll see if he shows up before the end of camp. If that situation resolves itself, maybe it's after the scrimmage. Clearly, though, they're sending a message. They want him to get in shape before he's able to participate with the team. We'll have another report on Friday. Check out the podcast we did with Goran Dragic and with Meyers Leonard. That's out now. We've got one ready to go with KZ Okpala and also Derek Jones Jr., so we'll be posting that. And I'm going to try to salvage that Justise Wislow sound, or at least write up an interview. But my big takeaway from today, Justise Wislow believes he's about to break out, and a lot of it has to do with the thing that he struggled with the most before, which was his outside shooting.